Can I make payments on the other $2,000?
But time ran out.
You took the car. You still have the car. And you didn't pay her the balance.
No, ma'am, I did not.
So give her the car back. She'll give you the $1,000 back.
I asked her if she would take the car back. She said no.
Judge Judy, she's not telling you the whole truth.
This is Judge Judy. Carol Althoff is suing Tracy Johnson for the unpaid balance on a car she sold her.
Judge, this is case number 16 on the calendar in the matter of Althoff versus Johnson. Parties have been sworn in. Sir, you may be seated.
Miss Althoff, you sold a car to the defendant. What kind of car was it that you sold?
It's a 2008 Volkswagen Jetta.
It didn't belong to you. It belonged to one of your kids.
Yes, it was my daughter's car. I was just the co-owner on the title.
How did you find the car?
I found the car through something called Facebook Marketplace.
Okay. And it was a 12-year-old car. You negotiated a price, correct, with the plaintiff, and the price was $3,000. Is that right?
Yes.
So, Miss Johnson, this is your problem. You bought a 12-year-old car for an agreed price of $3,000. Then you tell this perfect stranger, I only have $1,000 to give you down. Can I make payments on the other $2,000? She agreed. So far, am I correct?
Yes.
And you didn't pay her the balance of $2,000.
No, ma'am, I did not. There's a reason why I did not, though.
Why did you think? Yeah, you said you spent a lot of money on it and you couldn't get it smogged. Is that right?
That is correct.
So give her the car back. She'll give you the $1,000 back.
I tried to give her the car back.
Else.
I tried to give Lauren, the person who I was dealing with, her daughter, the car back. The second day that I had it, I asked her if she would take the car back. She said no. Her father came to my door, and I asked him if he would take the car back, and he said no.
Just a second. All right, listen to me. They may have said no. Now we're in court. Okay. And now I'm telling you, you can't keep the car. You have to give it back to her. They'll give you back your $1,000. They'll sell it to somebody else.
Judge Judy, she's not telling you the whole truth.
Listen, I'm here to make things quick and easy. She can't have the car and not pay for it. She doesn't want the car, clearly. Is that right?
I can't use the car.
You clearly don't want the car. She can't use the car. According to her, she's put in some money into the car. Brakes and, well, that's her problem. I don't care about that. Then she was silly enough to do that before she had the whole thing tested and everything else. That's her problem. So you're getting back your car with new brakes. And what else did you do to the car?
I'd had the two back tires changed.
And you have 2 new tires.
I know my daughter doesn't want the car. Well, the story with the smogging...
And you live in the state of California.
Yes, we do.
You can't sell a car in the state of California that can't be smogged.
What my daughter had arranged with her...
I don't care.
And, well,
it doesn't matter to me.
Well, she had arranged with the defendant that she had told her, I haven't had the car smogged, and I need to get it smogged. And this is the reason why, was because she had had some work done on the car, and when the car, they took it to be smogged, they said it wasn't ready, because when you unplug the battery, you have to wait with this particular car.
Listen, you're not paying attention to me, and I'm not hearing you. Now, you are A, not a mechanic. B, you can't tell me what she arranged with your daughter. That's hearsay. C, I'm here to resolve this matter. You're getting back a better car than you sold to her a couple of months ago. I assume you didn't take any cross-country trips because you couldn't drive the car. Is that correct?
I could not drive it because I couldn't register it.
Do you have the title to the car?
No, I never got the title to the car.
We gave her the title to the car, Judge.
Is it registered in your name?
No, it is not.
Because she did not go register it.
In whose name? Shh! Hey, listen to me. If you speak out again, I'm going to just dismiss your case. Do you understand that?
Yes,
This is not a party that we're at. In whose name is the car registered?
I believe it's Lauren's.
You never took it to DMV?
No, DMV, but they told me that I couldn't register it because it didn't pass smog. It needed a smog certificate. So when I went to the smog place, it can't pass smog.
So the only person who's on the title is her daughter? And you?
I'm not sure.
And her?
And her, I think so. I think.
But you're not on the title?
No.
Very good.
Your Honor,
what?
May my witness testify to something?
You're getting the car back. That's it. You're getting the car back. And she gets the money that she put in. She paid you how much? $1,000?
Yes.
Right. That's what she gets back. Then she'll go buy another car and you'll find somebody else to sell this to, understanding that it did not pass smog twice. And if there are any specific directions that you need to tell somebody that you have to dance around it, click your heels 3 times and say, I want to go to Oz before you try to re-smog it, you'll give them those instructions. Right now, she's giving you back the car. She gets a $1,000 deposit back. You're getting a car with 2 new tires and new brakes. Goodbye. Be happy. Have a happy life. We're done. Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
My daughter trusted somebody who said that they would make the payments.
I wanted the car when I wanted the car, and they should have had it smogged.
They had worked out the deal with what was going to go on with the smogging.
And I knew that, and I took the car anyways.
The lady canceled numerous times. My daughter was trying to work with her.
Don't have a friend test drive it for you, for starters.
And my daughter trusted her, and she took advantage of her.
All parties in the matter of Pesanowski versus Morgan. Step to the podium, please.
Kendra Pesanowski is suing her former friend, Megan Morgan, for vet bills regarding the euthanizing of a dog.
Ms. Pegnowski, there is no way that this is a happy case. You had 3 small chihuahuas.
Yes.
You were moving from one apartment to another, and I must assume from the complaint that you filed, you could only take 2 of them with you.
Correct.
The oldest of those dogs was quite senior. How old?
She was 15.
And how old were the others?
They were 5 and 10.
So this is what happened. You had to make a difficult decision, either moving. And was it part of your lease that you could only have 2 dogs?
Yes.
And you made the decision that you would part with the older one, and you called a friend of yours, that's the defendant, and you asked her if she could take the 15-year-old.
Yes.
You do understand that that's sort of a big responsibility to ask someone else to do, to take an old dog, which is going to require care. The dog is quite senior. That's a sort of a big responsibility to ask someone else to do.
Yes.
But you did it anyway, and the defendant...
Currently have 5 chihuahuas.
She said she would take... Is it a boy or a girl that she took?
It was a girl, and she happily said she would take her. And the reason why I was going to...
Well, let me explain something to you. You asked her to do you a favor. So it's not that somebody's happy to take a 15-year-old dog. Someone says, I will do it because the alternatives sound awful. So you brought your older little girl to her house, and you gave her the dog.
Yes, she happily took the dog, and...
No, don't tell me happily. You gave her the dog. That's
Yes, ma'am.
either yes or a no.
Yes, ma'am.
You gave her the dog. So now it's her dog.
Yes, ma'am.
The defendant arrived at my house later that evening on the 28th of February. She stated that she couldn't keep the dog. I graciously accepted taking on the responsibility.
Miss Morgan.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Morgan, she had called you first. She didn't just
No, ma'am.
show up.
It wasn't a call. It was she reached out to me via text message on Messenger through Facebook.
Okay. Do you have those messages with you?
I do have the messages with me.
Would you read them to me, please?
Yes, ma'am. Hey girl, long time no talk to. I hope you're well and life's treating you great. I'm reaching out to you because I'm having to make the hardest decision of my life. I have to move to a place at last minute that will take me with my horrible credit, but absolutely not 3 dogs. I thought long and hard, and I feel Tater would be the best to be put in a retirement home setting for senior dogs. But no one is working with me with Tater. She's mostly deaf and has some cataracts, but otherwise is very healthy. Well, shoot me a call. My number is, this is my response. So you're looking for a home for just Tater? Yeah, I'll take her. I mean, I already have 5, but what's 1 more? Oh my God, you're amazing. Call me. I'm in Ramona at the moment. I'll call you when I'm back in Lakeside. Okay, thank you, Megan. I can finally stop crying. That was on February 26th at 9:54 in the morning.
When did you drop the dog off? On the 26th, at what time?
At around noon, she came to my home.
Okay, and then tell me what happened to the dog.
She left the dog in my possession. Everything went great. She was playing around with my kids. She was in the house. She was treated like one of my own.
How many children do you have?
I have 2, a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old. I went to bed that night. Tater was fine. She was actually sleeping in my bedroom on my floor. My dogs free roam in my house, so it wasn't an issue. She did suffer from incontinence, so it was kind of an issue with my husband, and I told him that I would address it at a later date, that I would get her a crate or something to have her own provisions for. Let all my dogs out in my secured backyard, and by 7 a.m. when I got up to get my kids ready for school, I received a text message from my neighbor stating that there was a dog whining in my backyard, and she looked hurt. When I went outside to look for said dog, she was sitting by my back gate, and she had a laceration to her right shoulder. The moment that I had found the dog in that state, I contacted Kendra and said that Tater had been hurt, that she's at my house and that I needed her to come down and get her because I had to get, at this time, this is before COVID, my 2 small children had to be at school by 8 o'clock. I set Tater up in my driveway in an X-Pen, what we use in rescues. I had her bed out there with her and everything. Kendra arrived and picked up Tater and then proceeded to take her to Animal Medical Center in El Cajon due to the laceration on her right shoulder.
So let me understand this, Miss Morgan.
Yes, ma'am.
You called the plaintiff.
Yes, ma'am.
And told her to come and get the dog.
Yes, ma'am.
And take the dog to the vet.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, right now, Miss Morgan, you do understand that the law says that you are the dog's owner.
Okay. I do not know the laws by
time,
heart, so I do not know that.
Well, I'll tell you. When she asked you to take the dog, and you agreed to take the dog, and she brought the dog to you and relinquished any interest that she had in the dog.
Yes, ma'am.
To you. So when you called her and asked her to come and get the dog and take the dog to the vet, you were asking her to come and take your dog to the vet. That's the law. I know it may sound ridiculous to you because you had had the dog less than 24 hours, but it's still your dog, and you were asking the former dog's owner to take the dog to the vet.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so she, therefore, under those circumstances, as silly as it may sound to a layperson, she was acting as your agent in taking the dog to the vet. So what she's asking for is for you to pay for the dog's vet bill.
Yes, ma'am, and I understand that. She did not request me to pay for the vet bill. I would have gladly paid for the vet bill. I have a stack of bills sitting in front of me that shows that I am a responsible pet owner, that I have paid for.
No. So, Miss Morgan, what did she ask you for?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I did try to call her so many times, and she blocked me.
No, not blocked you. That was later. I'm talking about, do you have any evidence that on the 27th, when you were at the vet, you tried to contact Miss Morgan? The answer is either yes or no.
Former friend Megan Morgan owes for vet bills after she euthanized a dog due to Megan's neglect.
So, Miss Morgan, what did she ask you for?
She didn't ask me. So after she retrieved Tater, she took her to AMC Vet, and she took it upon herself to have the dog euthanized. She didn't seek treatment for the dog. I was then threatened. I had to block her on Facebook.
Hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
You had the dog euthanized because?
They wanted to do surgery, and it was going to be $3,000. And I did not have the money, and they also said with the age that she was at, she might not survive.
Did you tell?
I could not get a hold of Miss Megan.
Well, I would like you to show me on your phone on the 27th of February, sometime early in the morning, that you tried to contact her so that the owner of the dog, because now she's the owner, could make a decision as to whether or not the dog should have surgery or should be euthanized. Because if you made that decision by yourself, madam, then you'll pay your own vet bill. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Preliminarily, you gave the dog to the defendant. She asked you, acting as her agent, to pick up the dog to take it to be treated at the vet. You took to the vet because of the dog's age and the fact that you didn't have money for surgery to have the dog euthanized. And I have to see that you made efforts to contact the dog's owner because, you know, that doesn't have to be done in a moment. That could be done in an hour or two in the time that you possibly could reach her. Do you have any evidence that on the 27th in the morning, when you were at the vet, you tried to contact Ms. Morgan? The answer is either yes or no.
I would have to pull it up, so I do not have...
I have time. If you say you tried to call, don't waste my time. So if you have proof that you tried to call her from the vet, and there's a time frame when you would be at the vet on that morning so that the owner of the dog could make a decision as to whether she wanted to spend the money for surgery or not, I'll read that. If you made the decision, then you pay for the vet bill yourself. And if the vet bill was $700, then that's your responsibility.
I did try to call her so many times, and she blocked me and would not answer my phone calls.
No, not blocked you. That was later. I'm talking about calling her from the vet in the morning of the 27th. Did you call her from the vet the morning of the 27th?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
After the text message was sent that she said I killed her dog, I was neglectful, and she was making up these stories so that they would come and investigate me.
All right.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kendra Pezanowski claims former friend Megan Morgan owes for vet bills after she euthanized a dog due to Megan's neglect.
Now, did you call her from the vet the morning of the 27th?
I did. I need to look and find the proof. I need
Go. Go.
May I state something
Go.
while she looks
Look
for
on
the
your
proof?
phone.
May I state something
Sure.
while she looks on the proof? Okay,
Yes.
so after she retrieved the dog, I had gotten the text message later on that evening that she had indeed put the dog down.
Was that the first time you heard
Yes,
from
ma'am.
her?
That was the first time that I heard from her. The text
Could you
message.
bring that up?
I would love to. I have a new cell phone. I don't have any of my text messages from my prior phone. My number's been changing and everything.
You brought up the other text message from
That was
prior.
via Messenger off Facebook. So logging into
I
my
see.
Facebook is one thing, getting my actual text messages from my prior cell phone is another. So after the text message was sent that she said I killed her dog because she had to have her euthanized, I received a phone call from animal control stating that there was allegations that more animals than I was allotted to have on my property, and she was making up these stories so that they would come and investigate me.
All right.
Upon talking
Okay.
to them is
All right.
when animal control had informed me where the dog was euthanized.
Don't tell me. Don't
Yes, ma'am.
tell me what anybody told you. She had the dog euthanized. She said she did.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I said, first off, the vet has never even heard of any animal ever leaving a dog with these significant injuries in a cage in the cold outside by their driveway, complete neglect. Second, for you to have said you couldn't take her to the vet because yours was closed.
Listen to me.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen to me. I asked you for a simple thing, not that you're blaming her sometime later. I asked you to find a phone call that you tried to make to her from the vet. Look, it's very unfortunate what happened to your dog. You called the defendant because you couldn't take the dog with you, all three. You made a choice of which one. You chose the oldest one. She took the dog. You brought the dog there. There is absolutely no evidence, and you don't have any evidence, and I certainly don't believe that the defendant did anything to harm your dog. She took your dog in along with her other dogs. By the way, did you tell her that your dog was incontinent?
No, she was
When you
not
called
incontinent,
her,
ma'am.
when you called her. Okay, yeah.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay. Now, do you have any proof that you called her from the vet so that she could make a decision as to whether, or she's now the dog's owner, that she could make the decision about whether to euthanize the dog or to have surgery?
If I had been smart and pulled up the phone records, I would have evidence.
Okay, but you don't.
I don't.
So it's very unfortunate that this dog ended its long life that way. It's always said we can't always pick the way we or our pets go. So your vet bill was $700. Is that what it was?
It was $342.
Yeah, you take care of it yourself. You made the decision on how to treat the dog. You take care of it yourself. Your case is dismissed. We're finished. Thank you.
Case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
Their conflict is at a crossroads.
He's 100% at fault when he hit my car.
Well, they only sent her 50%. She wants the whole thing. What do you think?
Judge Judy.
A chihuahua in a cage in the driveway.
Any dog rescue uses what they call X-pins.
When I have an hour drive to go pick her up, and she was still in the cage, bleeding.
The dog was not in a confined space. She had a bed. She had a blanket.
I feel like it's my fault. That dog is dead.
A sad story that the dog had to perish. If she would have actually called me from the vet, we could have come to agreeance and had Tater still here with us today.
You had a house that burned down.
A tragic fire had a silver lining.
How much did the insurance company settle with you for on the burnt out house?
Well,
That's a question. I expect an answer.
But did she take the money and run?
You did not rebuild the house. Do you get where I'm going, Miss Cassis?
No.
I have all the answers.
This is Judge Judy. Soraya Cassis is suing her former contractor, Tony Duarte, for failing to perform services on her home after it had burned down.
Now it's case number 45 on the calendar in the matter of Cassis versus Duarte.
Complaint, you had a house that burned down and you hired the defendant to do some demolition work to finish demolishing the house and to take away the debris. You claim that you made payments to him and he didn't fulfill his obligation. That's what the case is about. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. And you're suing him for $5,000 for an unfinished project.
Well, I basically made a claim against his bond company, and my award for the bond company...
No, just...
Oh, we're not talking...
You're suing him today for $5,000. Am I correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, so I have a few preliminary questions for you.
Okay.
What was the address of the house that burned down?
Fran Street.
When did you buy Fran Street?
2007.
How much did you pay for the house in 2007?
I only paid $95,000, 97.
No. I want you to think very carefully. How much did you pay for the house? Just a second. In 2005, would it have been closer to 2005 when you purchased Fran Street?
Possibly, and it was...
Fran Street.
Yes. I'm sorry if I said the wrong number.
That's correct. And that house was purchased for approximately $88,000.
The $88,000 was one mortgage, and I had a second mortgage.
And what was the other mortgage?
Yeah, I don't...
And to whom?
It started out with Chase Bank, but they sold it in the secondary mortgage market like 3 times.
Who owned the mortgage on the house?
I did. May I say something?
No, I want you to...
Okay.
I asked you a simple question.
Okay.
And I want you to understand, Miss Cassis, that I have all the answers.
Okay.
You bought the house that we're talking about on Fran Street that burned down. How much did you pay for it when you purchased it? That's a simple
Your
question.
Honor,
I have homes over the years, and
I don't remember exactly. All I remember is that it was creative financing. Whatever was on paper, they gave me cash back so I could fix up the house. So I don't remember exactly what it was, but I thought it was 97.
I don't want exactly. Give me within $5,000. How much was it? You lived there.
I don't remember. It was 95 or 97,000. I don't remember.
Okay, 95. Shh, just a second. 95.
If you see the $88,000, that's the first mortgage. There was creative financing. They gave me back money. So that's why I...
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Now, you insured dollars. When? In what year?
Okay.
Take a breath before you answer my question.
Okay.
You insured the house for $230,000 when?
I insured the house every year. Every year I would insure it for the maximum amount to rebuild, because I knew that I had to do that because building was expensive. So every single year I had maximum insurance on it.
Insurance. Okay, here we go. So the maximum insurance was $230,000. Your house burned down in what month and year?
November of 2017.
And at that time, the insurance company, according to you, was going to give you a payout of $230,000 to replace the house. That's according to your statement that you signed.
Your Honor, it was $230,000 because I have 3 estimates from 3 contractors that it would cost $230,000 at the end of the year. One of them is from Doherty, and I have 2 other ones from...
Just a second. I'm not finished questioning you yet. Don't get beyond my questions.
Sorry.
So the house that you paid under $100,000 for, you were now getting from the insurance company $230,000. Now, you had an electrical fire.
Yes, ma'am, but they were...
That's what you said?
There was electrical fire. The fireman said that on the report, yes.
Just a second. That's not what I asked you. I said... You said you had an electrical fire.
According to the...
Where are you currently... I'm speaking. Where are you currently living?
I bought a house in California City.
You bought a house in California City, and the address of... Just a second. And the address of that house is 21...
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yes.
Who owns that house?
I own it, but I just recently put it in a trust, for my daughters, but I don't know if it's been recorded yet.
How much did you pay for that house?
I got it. Basically, it's not a house. It's a town. They're attached together. So I paid.
You paid
$115.
$115. Mm-hmm. That is correct. Now, who is Mark Anthony?
A person I gave a deli owner that I gave money to help him open up his deli. That I thought that was going to be my business. We had an agreement. After I bought the house, I invested in this deli, but he breached contract also.
Mm-hmm. So you are at the same time suing Miss... Yes.
I've already sued him, actually.
Okay. Now, how much did the insurance company settle with you for on the burnt-out house?
Well,
that's a question. I expect an answer. A figure, a number.
Your Honor.
A number.
Number. It's replacement costs and actual value costs. So when they settle...
No, I asked you a question.
Okay.
I expect a numerical answer. How much did the insurance company pay you for the house?
I received
that had an electrical fire.
I received $90,000 for property that was burnt. $90,000, and I received only.
That's not all you received.
Wait, I'm not done.
Come on.
I also received $120,000. I think it was $120,000 for a dwelling. I think. And then I had to pay off my mortgage, which left me with $70,000 to buy a new house.
Just a second. Just a second. I asked you for an entire figure. How much did you receive from the insurance company for the house?
For the house, $120,000 because I did not build.
And for the contents?
$90,000. $90,000.
How much did Mr. Duarte's bond company pay you?
The award ordered me $13,000, and I don't recall the rest of $13,000.
Did you sue the bond company?
I made a claim with the bond company.
My question, Ms. Cassini, you made a claim with the bond company.
Yes, I did.
For how much? His bond company. For how much?
I made the claim. I requested the full $15,000, but
you requested $15,000 from his bond company.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how much did his bond company give you?
They ended up giving me only $4,800.
Do you get where I'm going, Miss Cassis?
No.
Do you get where I'm going?
No. Your Honor, I wanted to build my house. I have proof of a...
So what?
May I show you some situations whenever you're ready? I have all the proof in the world to show you the way this incident turned out.
Listen, according to your complaint, Ms. Cassis, you paid Mr. Duarte, according to your signed complaint, $4,500 in advance. You said he did not complete the work. He did not demolish, nor did he haul away the stuff that he was supposed to haul away so that you could rebuild the house. That's what this is about. Well, his bond company, probably with his consent, paid you for speaking. You did not rebuild the house. You took the $230,000 that you got from the insurance company for this electrical fire.
No, I didn't, ma'am.
You purchased another property.
No.
I'm just
I did not receive $230,000.
What you just told me.
No, I never received $230,000 from the insurance company.
Well, you just told me you received $120 and $90.
You know, Your Honor.
That's what you told me.
Your Honor, let me tell you something. They didn't just give me that money. I had to work to protect myself because of what he did to me, okay? Now, if you would just let me speak and prove what really happened, I wanted my house to be rebuilt. A $250,000 house is much better than going into a condo in California City, okay? So, I mean, obviously I wanted to build. I have, through emails, been back and forth with him for 12 months, 10 months, okay? With his excuses. I had my attorney write him a letter. I have all of the proof right here. And
I don't care.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Miss Cassis?
Yes.
Pay attention. This is not the Scopes trial. You paid him $4,800. You claimed he didn't do the work for $4,800. His bond company gave you $4,800. And dissatisfied with the rear of the car.
I didn't bring it with me.
Well, then you thought you were coming to the beach today?
No.
Today you're coming to court.
Soraya Cassis says her former contractor, Tony Duarte, never finished the demolition of her home after it had burned down.
Now, you paid him $4,800.
And he didn't.
You got $4,800.
No, because
from the bond company.
No, because now the demolition costs $8,000. I have the estimates.
Miss Cassis?
Yes.
Miss Cassis?
Yes.
Pay attention.
Yes.
This is not the Scopes trial. You paid him $4,800. You claimed he didn't do the work for $4,800. His bond company gave you $4,800.
And for the whole year, I paid $3,000 of fence rental. I had to put taxes on it, which is another $1,500. Okay, and the new estimate to do a demo is $8,000. So that's where they came in. They did their investigation on everything I gave them, and I have the fence receipt.
How much money did you get from the insurance company?
$4,800
for your house.
But $4,800.
No,
but
that's his bond company. How much did you get from the insurance company for your house? That
a mortgage off with it. They didn't give me the check. They gave the check to my mortgage company.
How much were you left with that enabled you to buy the house where you...
$70,000.
After they paid off the mortgage.
Yes.
And you used that as a down payment to buy another place to live.
No, I actually paid cash for the place that I live because I...
Okay, we're done here. Your Honor, you paid him $4,800. His bond company gave you $4,800. We're done. Case is over. Period.
Your Honor,
we're done. I hope there are people. I hope there are people watching this case. We're done.
Okay.
Do you have anything you want to add, sir?
I do. That's what I put up with for months, and it was never a demo. That's the part that upset me the most. Is that with my bond company, they would not accept any of my documented. I took screenshots of my phone where we had text messaging back and forth. I have one right here where it says I can clean the whole place and dispose of the trash for $4,500. That's all I was doing. Someplace along the line, I guess her insurance company wanted it demoed. I said, to demo it, you need to get an engineer out there. We got to do. I told her all this stuff. I sent her emails. She ignored most of it. See,
we're done.
Parties are excused.
I just wanted to get rid of this person. This has been a nightmare for me. I was her contractor. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm just glad it's over.
Parties in the matter of Reyes-Ruiz versus Linares. Step to the podium, please.
Jorge Reyes-Ruiz is suing body shop owner Jorge Linares for improperly fixing his car after an accident.
Mr. Ruiz, the defendant is a mechanic, and you were in an automobile accident, and you were hit from behind.
Correct.
So the accident was clearly the fault of the other driver.
Correct.
Who had insurance.
Yes.
And that happened in what month and year, Mr. Ruiz?
September 2019.
2019 or 18?
It's a little blurry, 18, yeah.
And what was the damage to your car when it was hit from behind by another car?
Oh, it was just rear-ended.
So you had rear damage to your car?
Correct.
When did you take the car to be fixed by the defendant?
October of 2018, yeah, approximately. Yeah, because the car got damaged in September, so the adjusters...
No. First of all, you were coming to court today. This is what I'm trying to put together from your complaint. Your car was rear-ended by a car that had insurance. You took it at some point to the defendant. Prior to taking it to the defendant, you had another accident where that car took off. So when you took your car to the defendant to be fixed, you specifically said to him, do not fix the other damage to the car because that wasn't caused by the person who hit me in the rear. That's what you say.
Correct.
Because you either weren't planning on fixing it or you didn't have the money to fix it.
Correct.
The defendant, according to you, dealt with the insurance company, and then you went to pick up your car. Was the rear of your car fixed?
Yes.
Is my question. And the rear of your car was fixed to your satisfaction.
No, it wasn't.
Well, show me pictures of what you're dissatisfied with the rear of the car.
I didn't bring it with me. I have pictures
Well, then
of...
you thought you were coming to the beach today?
No.
Today you're coming to court.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Is the damage that you're showing me on the driver's side and the fixed that you showed me the passenger side?
Yes, made a mistake.
You
We're all
made
human.
a mistake. You know when you made a mistake?
Yes.
When you came here.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jorge Reyes Ruiz claims body shop owner Jorge Linar accident.
So this is what your case is about, Mr. Ruiz. So you're not dissatisfied with the work that he did on the rear of your car. Because if you were dissatisfied with that work, you would have brought me a photograph, right?
Correct.
Right. What you state in your complaint was that the defendant also tried to fix or to make it look better where you had had the other accident, something that you didn't ask him to do and didn't want him to do because you weren't going to fix it. And so when you went to pick up your car, the work that the defendant was supposed to do on the rear was done to your satisfaction. He touched the side of your car. You say you were dissatisfied with the work that he did on the side of your car, and it cost you $4,000 to fix that work.
That is correct.
So now I would like to see two things. I want you to show me a photograph of the car before he touched it, after he finished it. Then I want to see the paid bill from the company that fixed it for $4,000, and I want to see a picture of the car that you drove to court with today. Do you understand what I want to see?
So you want
a picture of, if you have it, what the car looked like before the defendant touched the side of your car.
It's right here.
That's what the car looked like before he touched. Oh, that's a side swipe.
Yeah, somebody.
So
yeah.
now I would like to see what it looked like when he finished it, that you said you were dissatisfied with. Is that the same side of the car?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Have you been cheated? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Now, could you put up the other picture first? Okay. Well, on one side, Mr. Ruiz, you're showing me the driver's side of the car.
That is correct, yes.
The other picture looks like the passenger side. Am I crazy?
No, you're right.
Is one side the driver's side and one side the passenger side?
Well, I when, I was...
Wait, just leave them both up there.
Oh.
Well, you look at them and then tell me, is the damage that you're showing me on the driver's side, passenger side? That's either a yes or a no. Are they two different sides of the car?
Yes, they're two different sides of the car. I made a mistake.
What? You made
human.
a mistake. You know when you made a mistake? Do you know when you made a mistake, Mr. Ruiz?
Yes.
When you came here. Yeah, when you came here. Goodbye, Mr. Ruiz. Unless you have another picture you want to show me.
No,
Unless you
I
want to
don't.
show me the same side of the car.
I do, but
Goodbye,
I would
Mr.
have to
Did you
go
think
to
that I
my
was
car
stupid?
and
Goodbye.
make a...
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
She spread lies after lies, calling my dogs murderers. I don't deny her feelings. I deny the way she has gone on about it. It's ridiculous.
Your dogs weren't killed, sir.
Judge Judy.
I'm happy.
Well, I did come a little unprepared.
I tell you 3 times, please send it up, bring it over, and I take care.
When you don't have the correct information, there's really no case.
Now I'm gonna keep record for anything.
It's a lesson learned.
Somebody's usually
Their crash.
I was trying to get into this lane here.
But she was already in that lane.
No, I wasn't even in that lane.
I'm actually liking this case.
Now their conflict is at a crossroads.
He's 100% at fault when he hit my car.
Well, they only sent her 50%. She wants the whole thing. What do you think?
This is Judge Judy. Meredith Less is suing fellow motorist William Frankie for an accident on the road.
Judge, this is case number 42 on the calendar in the matter of Les versus Frankie. Parties are sworn in.
Miss Les, you had a car accident with the defendant over a year ago.
Correct.
You claimed that the accident was his fault. You did nothing about it for a year. Now you say that we have COVID, you had enough time to have your car fixed, so now you're pursuing a claim against him.
Correct.
That's where we're at. You were driving a 2009 Lincoln, and I assume you had liability insurance, but not collision.
Correct.
With whom were you insured?
Geico?
Do you still have the car?
Yes, I do.
And Mr. Frankie, what kind of a car were you driving on August 24th of 2019?
A Toyota Prius.
What year?
2012.
And did you have liability and or collision on the car?
Yes, I had full coverage.
Full?
Yeah.
When you had this accident, did you exchange information with Miss Les? Did you give her your insurance card and your registration and your license?
Yeah, I don't remember about the license and the registration, but I definitely gave her my insurance.
You had never met Mr. Frankie before, is that right?
That's correct.
So if you had an accident that you allege was his fault and you decided not to call the police to the accident, I assume you were satisfied that you had sufficient contact information for him.
Correct. We exchanged all information.
So you had his insurance card?
Correct.
When did you notify his insurance company?
I contacted my insurance that day, and they started the process. And then I got in touch with Kemper within a few days, and they had me go through their process.
And what happened?
I submitted all the photos and information through the app they told me to download, and then that was it. And then I think within a month I got information regarding what the estimate for repairs would be.
Okay, did you get a check from his insurance company?
In July of this year, but I haven't done anything with it because...
What was the check that you got from Kemper Insurance?
It was 50% of the estimated...
Was the amount of the check?
The amount was $715.43.
And when you accepted the check, you signed a document that said that that was in full satisfaction of your claim.
No, I did not.
You had to, otherwise they're not going to send you a check.
Well, what happened was I took the car to a mechanic, and they called the insurance, and we're speaking with them, and they said they would send over a check. And then when I got the check, I called because it was for half the amount when they said they were going to pay 100% of the estimated repair cost.
Did you cash the check?
No. I have the check physically with me. Yes.
Great. Take it out. Great. Okay. Very good. I'm actually liking this case. So you have an estimate.
I do.
To fix your car.
Through Kemper,
I'd like
yes.
to take a look at it because, Mr. Frankie, if your insurance company sent her a check, they found that you were at fault. Your insurance company found you were at fault. You understand that?
Correct, 50%. From my understanding.
Well, they only sent her 50%. Your understanding from what she says is she got 50%. Your insurance company found you were sufficiently at fault to send her a check.
Yeah.
Okay. You're going to tell me about, Green, the estimate of having the car fixed?
Yes, I already did.
$1,430. Okay, great. Now would you show me the damage to the car?
I have two photos. Here's the first one. It's the right passenger side above the wheel fender area.
Mm-hmm. Now, you have a check, so the estimate is for $1,430.
Correct.
To fix it. You got a check for them for $715. Can you tell me why you're suing him for $1,430?
Well, I'm suing him for the full amount because he's 100% at fault when he hit my car.
Yeah, but you already have a check for half.
Okay, so when I spoke with my insurance adjuster, he said you either accept the check they sent or you take Mr. Williams to court. So I haven't done anything with the check. I'm not going to because I'm here today.
Okay, so you have that check.
Correct. Correct.
You have that check. Take it back and put it on your desk. Now, who was making a left turn? Were you both preparing to make a left turn?
No.
I was preparing to make a left turn.
Okay. And was Miss Les in front or behind you?
She came from behind me.
All right. Miss Les, you're driving down. You're driving in the same direction. You're in the left lane. He's in the left lane. He was looking to make a left turn.
On the street. He was in the lane to my right. And he was somewhat behind me. Like, we weren't head-to-head on that. So when I kept going and then he decided to turn, he hit the front passenger side of my car. I was going straight.
You were going straight, and he says you were making a left turn?
I was getting into the turn lane to make a left turn.
But she was in the middle.
Yeah,
You were on her right.
I was on her right, correct.
I'm trying to visualize
I have
this.
some pictures.
She's in the middle lane. You're on the right lane.
Correct.
Oh, I'd like to see them.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, great. Oh, that's better.
I'm the blue car.
I'm not following. You're both going in which
So-
direction? Point to the direction that you're
So we're
going. I
going-
see where her car is.
We're going this way.
In that direction.
Correct.
And
I had just
she
come,
is the orange.
Correct. So I just come from this direction on a street, and I took a left turn onto La Brea here. So I took a left turn.
Okay.
And I intended to go up here to take another left down here. And this,
Okay,
so
but
I wanted to get.
but she's in your space.
So yes, I think she was. I assumed she was also intending to take a left turn on to Romaine from La Brea here. That's what I assumed, because I was trying to get into the.
She was already in that lane.
So I did not see her in this lane. I thought that you had to. I think she came from here into this turn lane, and I was going into this turn lane. I was going into this turn lane to get here.
I see that.
I hit her here because I'm assuming she was going to go straight through to take a left turn also.
She was going straight.
Correct.
No, she
But
said she
that's
was
what
going
she said,
straight. You were
yeah.
not making a left turn.
No, I wasn't even in
Is that right?
lane.
She was in this turn lane. So
I was in the middle
you want to
lane.
show me where you were?
Sure, I would love
You
to.
want to show me where you were?
And I wouldn't be making a turn because I know I was heading to Los Feliz, where I'd be making a right onto Sunset. So,
okay,
there I am in the middle lane, going northbound.
And you're going straight.
Correct.
And he's all the way on your right.
Correct.
And he wanted to get over to make a left turn.
Correct.
I got it. Did you have any damage to your car, sir?
the damage was very minimal. I have a picture of
Okay.
my mirror, but it was very minimal. Do you want to see the picture?
Well, is the mirror what hit her car?
That's what I thought hit her car. I'm not sure. I think when I have pictures of her car and I see that her mirror, it looked like her.
Okay.
But I was unsure if I hit the fender when I saw the damage.
Okay. Mr. Frankie, you know, it's an accident. It's not an on purpose. It's an accident. Somebody's usually responsible for an accident. Sometimes it's both people's fault, but usually it's one person's fault. That looks to me, what I saw, that this accident was your fault. You were in the right lane trying to get over to the left lane, and you hit her car. Didn't cause a lot of damage to yours. It's an accident, right? You had insurance. Your insurance company copped out. Her damage was $1,400. They paid her $7,000. She wants the whole thing. What do you think?
I know that I was intending to go into, I'd already went this direction, the opposite direction, past Romaine to go to Willoughby, which is further down, if you want to look right here on the chart. So Romaine is up here. Willoughby is down here. Parking, there's a parking structure for Target off of Romaine over here that I intended to go to. And you can only get there from going to Romaine. You can't get there from the other direction. So I went down, made a U-turn on Willoughby, came back.
I understand. I understand exactly what you're saying to me, sir, but you
Okay,
were in
can I
the
show
right
you-
lane going to the left lane,
Can I show you another picture then?
and you hit her.
Yes.
She didn't hit
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I don't think
Are you-
anybody's
is
driving
what
in
you-
the parking area.
Sometimes you can in California because if there's no parking between certain times and certain times.
Oh, this is
there
true. You're right.
And later today,
What special thing about this pontoon boat motivated you to spend 3 times as much as you could have for cash?
Meredith Less says fellow motorist William Frankie merged into her lane and ran into her car.
Now, she didn't hit you. You hit her.
But there's a flaw in the other picture that she showed.
Okay, I'd like to see it.
So if you would bring up that picture that she showed, you can see, but I don't have her picture. But I do have this Google map right here, whichever you'd like to look at.
Those things.
This right here.
Well, let me see the Google map. They confuse me usually.
So right here, I can turn it so it's the same as the chart.
Okay, better.
Okay, so here's Romaine. We're going up here. This is the turn lane. You can see the arrow right there.
No, I understand that. Where was your car?
So do you see that?
Was your car in the right lane?
The parking spots right here?
Is what you're telling me there were parked cars there?
Yeah,
Were there cars parked there?
I parked there. I pulled off the road and parked there.
For what?
From after I got hit here, I pulled right over here. And I have a picture showing where my car was parked right after that.
Well, you didn't get hit because your car hit her.
Yeah, so I parked right there. I was trying to get into this turn lane, and I don't think anybody's driving in the parking area, was what I'm saying. There's two other lanes here.
Well, sometimes you can in California, because if there's no parking between certain times and certain times, a whole...
Oh, this is true. You're right.
Streets. There are streets where you're not allowed to park at all during certain times, and there's free-flowing traffic there.
Actually, you're right.
Yes,
and it was at 7 o'clock, which is a rush hour.
So that would have been no parking in that area, as it is on Wilshire, for instance. You're not allowed to park after 4 o'clock on Wilshire in the park lane.
This is correct.
Mr. Frankie, I think that you owe the plaintiff $715, and then she's got the check from your insurance company. Now you're whole. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $715. We're done.
Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
She makes the final call.
She looked to the evidence and saw the truth in what transpired that day.
Prevail, and I kind of trust the final call.
He stated he was fiddling with the GPS.
Accidents happen.
Trying to get the car fixed.
All parties in the matter of Vasugi versus Hill, step to the podium, please.
Hamid and Susan Vasugi are suing William Hill for the cost of a pontoon boat, a boat motor, and registration fees.
Mr. and Mrs. Vasugi, you purchased what you call a party boat.
Yes.
From the defendant, spent a lot of money not only for the boat, but for parts for it, for furniture for it, and now claim that you can't register it because of certain problems with the defendant's registration, and that you ordered a motor for the boat from him, gave him money for the motor for the boat, which he has not put in to the boat.
Yeah,
correct. Suing for $5,000. I have a couple of questions. Do you have a photograph of this boat that you purchased from the defendant?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to take a look at it. Are those pontoons on either side?
Yes.
So it's a pontoon boat?
Yes.
And this pontoon boat is 30 years old, according to your complaint?
Yes, it's a 1989.
And how much do you claim that you paid the defendant for it?
$6,500 cash and $547 DMV fees.
$500 in cash. Now, my question to you, Ms. Vasugi, before we go any further is, why would you pay him $6,500 in cash if you're a functional illiterate on the Internet, as I am, and you can go on the Internet and you can buy a 1989 pontoon boat for anywhere from $2,500 to $5,500? And I have owned a pontoon boat. So I would like you to tell me what special thing about this pontoon boat motivated you to spend 3 times as much as you could have for cash than you could have any place else where I'm looking on the Internet.
The body of the boat is in good condition, the pontoons and the body.
Yes.
We were going to replace all the furniture, and we wanted to fix the current motor, but we changed our mind. We thought it was a good value. We have some boating experience.
Just a second. You know, Mrs. Vasugi, I'm not buying that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
So far you've spent $16,000 on a boat with no proof that the money went to him when you could have bought a 31-year-old boat for $5,000.
Real cases, real people, he claimed. William Hill sold them a pontoon boat with no title or registration.
Okay, now after you paid him allegedly $6,500 for the boat, you invested a whole lot of other money in it. Tell me what other money you invested in the boat, because I need that for my record.
Sure. We bought some furniture for the boat. This is patio furniture.
I have that here. And how much did you pay? Just a second. And how much did you pay for the furniture?
About, it was $3,260.
So far, you're up to almost $10,000.
Yes.
For this 30-year-old boat.
A bimini top.
What kind of work do you and your husband do?
We're retired. We sold a car.
I'd like you to show me.
For the money to do this.
To whom?
To an individual who paid us cash. I have the bill of receipt.
Does it have his name on it and his phone number?
It has his name.
Well, get me his name and his phone number. I'd like to know exactly how much this person paid you for your boat.
For our vehicle. No, this was for our
car.
vehicle.
He says he paid you. Just a second. It says he paid Mr. Klein, who I could call. I'm sure you have his number because there's an address there.
Yes, we do. We do.
It says he paid $8,000 in May of 2020. Well, the date is something else before somebody tried to write May 18th.
And I have his phone number if you'd like to call him. But we sold him a 2008 Mercedes-Benz E350. He gave us $8,000 in cash, and that's what we used to purchase the boat.
That's not what you say in your complaint, madam.
Well, we considered
you decided to sell. No. In your complaint, you say, we decided to sell our speedboat and buy a patio boat to cruise around. So far, you've spent $10,000
we didn't
on a
sell
boat
the
that you
speedboat.
could buy.
We still have it.
No, so far, just a second. So far, Ms. Vasugi, you've spent $10,000, and that's before the motor that you said you bought from him. You spent $10,000 on new furniture, $6,500 for a boat that you could have bought for $3,500. So we're up to almost $10,000, and then you decided to invest in a motor. And how much money did you give him for the motor?
$6,100.
And do you have a check for that cleared?
Yes.
And I'd like to see.
It's not actually a check. We took cash from the bank for $6,000, and then we had $1,000 out of our pocket.
Miss
100 out of our pocket.
Miss Vasugi, so far you've spent $16,000 on a boat with no proof that the money went to him for $5,000.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by.
Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
All right, so I'm going to tell you this, Ms. Vasugi. I may be a skeptic, but I'm dismissing your case without prejudice. You go back to your local small claims court, and if they buy your evidence, good for you. I don't.
I mean,
do you understand?
I don't understand because I have proof of everything I spent. He gave me stickers that don't even belong to my boat.
What I'm telling you is neither you nor your husband look like foolish people. I don't believe in your cash transactions that amount to over $10,000.
They do cost that much, Your Honor.
Just a second. They may, and someone may believe you. I don't. You're no worse for your arrival here. You go back to your local small claims court and convince a judge, just like me. So I'm dismissing your case without prejudice because I don't buy it. Got it?
Okay. Hope you have it.
Thank you.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
Happy with the decision.
We never got a title or registration. We were given invalid stickers and an invalid license plate.
I have all the titles.
I guess we'll take it back to court.
I'd like it to be done.
I've had them since they were puppies. Nothing like this ever happened.
But it did happen.
On social media, she spread lies after lies after lies, calling my dogs murderers.
She called them a murderer, and you wound up thinking about that. Are you just telling me you would be upset?
I don't deny her feelings. I deny the way she has gone on about it. It's ridiculous.
Your dogs weren't killed, sir.
This is Judge Judy. Sarah Gordon is suing her neighbor, Michael Roston, for vet bills after his pit bulls attacked and killed her dog.
Judge, this is case number 56 on the calendar in the matter of Gordon versus Roston. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Thank you, Bird. Bird, would you do me a favor, please, and escort the defendant's girlfriend out of the courtroom for a moment?
Sure.
I'd like her in the back, out of earshot of these proceedings for now.
That way.
Great. Mr. and Mrs. Gordon, you live in the same general vicinity since you were walking your dog, and according to you, Mr. Roston's girlfriend, the young woman who I just had escorted out of the courtroom, I assume that was the girlfriend who was walking the dog, sir?
Yes.
So I assume that you live in the same neighborhood. On August 7th of this year, you were walking your Chihuahua.
Yes.
And I know a little bit about dogs. A fat one weighs, 12 pounds. How big was yours?
She weighed about 16 pounds.
So a fat Chihuahua.
Well, she's a Chihuahua Terrier, yes. She was kind of hefty.
And Mr. Roston has two adult, I assume they are adult, pit bulls.
Yes, Your Honor.
And they weigh each probably about 50 or 60 pounds?
Upwards of 60, both of them, probably.
How long have you had the two pit bulls, sir?
All of their lives. The mother is 8 years old, and the daughter is 4.
So they are 8 and 4?
Correct.
And so you had the 4-year-old as a puppy and as a newborn, and
yes.
the 8-year-old came to you when?
3 months, maybe. 2.5, 3 months old.
Do you own your own home or rent your house, sir?
I rent.
A house or an apartment?
It's an apartment. It's a granny flat above the garages in the back half of the property.
And how much do you pay in rent?
Well, I'm actually doing work to the property, and I'm supposed to be getting paid for it as part of the work, for the work that I've done.
So you're not paying rent? When
no,
did you...
I was hired. There was some issues between two siblings.
How long have you been living on the property?
Almost 2 years.
Okay, this is what your case is about. On the 7th of August, you were walking your dogs, according to you, and you'll tell me the story. Mr. Roston's girlfriend, the one who just left the courtroom, I don't know whether you saw her walking the two pit bulls, but according to you, she lost control of them.
Yes.
They attacked your dog, and your dog was seriously injured. Took her to the vet that performed emergency surgery.
Yes.
Unfortunately, they could not save her.
Yes, she passed away in the hospital 2 days after I believe it was 2 surgeries.
Okay. Mr. Roston wasn't there, so he can't tell me what happened. That's why I'm going to bring his girlfriend in later after I get some information from him. He has a counterclaim, and his counterclaim is that you worked on having declared his dogs a nuisance. They were declared by whom to be a nuisance?
The San Diego County Humane Society.
Did you have an opportunity to appear at a hearing?
Yes.
And after the hearing, they declared your dogs a nuisance?
Yes.
Well, if you don't like that ruling, you can appeal it. But that has nothing to do with me. Your dogs, they were declared a nuisance after a hearing. You had the right to testify. That's not something that I'm going to overturn. You had to get more insurance if you wanted to keep the dogs, because now the dogs were declared a nuisance and you have to muzzle them when you walk them. And you also had to get additional insurance. What kind of insurance did you have to get in order to keep them?
It's a renter's liability insurance.
Absolutely correct. And you do know, sir, that there are certain dogs that insurance companies will not insure if either renters or owners have those dogs, period. So you have to pay a premium. You had to pay a premium in order to keep your dogs.
I do know that. I do know that now.
And show the county, well, listen, Mr. Roston, you know, it's no secret that, for me, I know that there are certain breeds of dogs, and the country knows, because it's been so well publicized, that there are certain breeds of dogs that insurance companies have declared to be inherently dangerous. I don't have to name them all, but the breed of dog that you chose to get is among that group. And if you choose to have a dog like that, and if the dog has at least one incident, then the county is going to say, we're not going to take a chance and wait until, instead of a barking Chihuahua, a crying baby is what these dogs are capable, not always do, but are capable of doing. So you choose to have those dogs. So I'm dismissed. You had a hearing, period.
The county declared my dogs a public nuisance because this woman on social media, on social media, she spread lies after lies after lies, calling my dogs murderers. And okay,
sir,
that's okay to do.
You had a hearing. You had a hearing.
And you know,
you had a hearing.
I had a hearing, and Your Honor, the reason that they declared my dogs a public nuisance was not because of the action or the event on August 7th, but because of all the social media that she incited, that she got pumped up and asked her friends to call the Humane Society, call them and call them and call them and call them, send emails, take pictures, follow these guys around, even though I'm not doing anything wrong. Okay, my dog's 8 years old and 4 years old. I've had them since they were puppies. And I am adamant about making sure that my dogs never get off the leash, never get off the harness. Nothing like this ever happened.
But they did.
Yes, right,
Mr.
they
Rustin. Mr. Rustin, but look at me, sir. Look at me, sir. But they did. They did.
Indeed, and that will never, ever happen again because she'll never be walking the dog player. So that was...
But Mr. Rustin, Mr. Rustin, it's not to argue with me. I'm telling you, you didn't intend for it to happen, but it did happen. Now, I want you to think, and as you said to me, she'll never walk the dogs again. That's what you said.
That's correct.
Right? So
absolutely.
You know now that that is a potential hazard because you have very strong dogs and your girlfriend wasn't able to control them for a minute. And during that minute, the dog created a situation which caused the death of her pet. Now, I want you to think about this, sir. I want you to think about you walking your dogs, and your dogs were on a leash crossing the street. A 16-year-old who wasn't supposed to be driving ran a red light, hit your dogs. You took them to the vet because you love them. They operated on them. They couldn't save them. How angry would you be?
I would be very upset.
I
would be very upset.
Before you see how you welled up a moment ago when you were talking about your dogs and what she called them a murderer. So and you welled up thinking about that. And so I'm asking you that question. And are you just telling me you would be upset?
I would be very upset.
With somebody who ran
I would grieve. I don't deny her feelings.
Everybody,
I deny the way she has gone on about it.
It's ridiculous. I'm telling you that I don't know what somebody who wells up thinking about their dogs being declared a nuisance as opposed to somebody who witnessed their dog being killed. I don't know how that person would react to somebody who negligently went through a stop sign and killed the dogs that you've had since puppies, that you clearly adore. And that you clearly said to me, my girlfriend will never walk those dogs again. And for that, I respect you more than the answer that you gave me, which is why I put the girlfriend outside.
So,
because when we come inside, she's going to give me a whole different story. That's why I put her. I just knew it.
Now, can I ask you?
Go ahead.
Do you think that if this 16-year-old kid ran a stop sign, that I would not be satisfied with him not having his license any further? Or do you think that I would go? I have no idea. I have no idea. Killed because he killed my dogs.
I have no idea. Your dogs weren't killed, sir. Your dogs weren't killed. Your dogs were muzzled when they're out. And in order to keep them, it's going to cost you money so that we're sure as a community that your bird, would you bring in the girlfriend? Because we know what happened. You're walking the Chihuahua. The dogs got away from the girlfriend. That's what he said because that's what his girlfriend told him. Now we're going to hear what she has to say. And sir, I would like you to sit down.
No problem.
I would like you to sit down. Good.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I do not know if her dog had their leash on. I know that his two, they absolutely had their harnesses on.
Is what you're telling me, that's what you told you? I want you to tell me, your boyfriend told me a different story.
And later today,
you called them and said, my floor's buckled because of the leaky refrigerator, and I want you to pay $3,700 to fix them. And what did the company say to you?
They said they're not liable.
That's absolutely right.
Sarah Gordon says 2 pit bulls owned by neighbor Michael Roston attacked and killed her Chihuahua. Michael is countersuing for slander, defamation, and libel.
Now, tell me your name, please.
Whitney Falk, F-A-L-K.
Ms. Falk, I want you to tell me your version of what happened on August 7th this year when...
Okay, I put their harnesses on. I walked them up to the top of the alley. It's very, very dark up there. There's no street lights. I was going to cross the street and go up the alley, continue on up the alley. I changed my mind. I turned left onto the sidewalk, and at the time there was a large econo van parked as close to the entrance of the alley as possible, and then there's a small dirt strip. So when I turned left, the girls stopped and we were sniffing around, and I was behind the van, so I couldn't see anyone. And we're all looking to the left. I heard a noise to my right, and it startled all three of us, the girls and I. And
the girls, you're talking about the dogs?
Yes, yes.
So you heard a noise?
I heard a noise. I didn't see anyone. And then
okay.
All I know is that her dog and our dogs met in mutual combat, and that's pretty much all I could see, because after that, once I realized.
And so what you're telling me is that your two dogs, which each weigh, or your boyfriend's dogs, which each weigh 60 pounds, were engaged in mutual combat with a Chihuahua, and that all three dogs had their leashes on.
I know that my two, or his two, they absolutely had their harnesses on, without a doubt.
Harnesses and their leashes on?
Yes.
Yes.
They both had...
Is what you're just a second. Is what you're telling me, that's what you told you... I want you to tell me, your boyfriend told me a different story.
Huh, really?
I want you to tell me, your boyfriend told me a different story. He said, which he must have gotten from you because he wasn't there, that the dogs got away from you, and that's why you'll never walk the dogs again.
I never said they weren't on leashes with harnesses.
They were on leashes.
You said the dogs got away. Okay. We're done. We're done.
Ma'am.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000. We're finished. Over.
This case is concluded. Parties are excused.
She's campaigning for that. That's her ultimate goal, to have my dogs put to sleep.
I don't want his dogs to be put down. I never said that. I just want them walked with muzzles.
The incident that happened, that was what's called an accident.
I don't want any other dogs to be murdered again by pit bulls in the neighborhood.
All parties in the matter of Badian versus Coleridge. Steps forward.
Sean Badian is suing appliance repairman Andrew Coveridge for damage to his floors caused by a leaky...
In a nutshell, this is what your case is. You have a home, and you have a company that you pay an annual contract to take care of all of your electrical appliances.
Yes, Your Honor.
I have the same kind of company. You pay them a set fee, it's very expensive, and you can call them any day, 24/7, and tell them I have a problem with my air conditioning, with my stove, with my refrigerator, with my ice maker, and they send a technician.
Yes, Your Honor.
You were having a problem with the refrigerator. You called the company that you were dealing with, and the company sent the defendant to fix your leaky refrigerator. He had to come back 2 different times. He fixed one leak. It continued to leak. He came back, or he or somebody who worked for him came back again, fixed the second leak. But during that period of time, your floors were damaged underneath the refrigerator from the leaks. And you want the defendant, who was sent by the company that you employ, to pay $3,700 for new floors. That's your case, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okie dokie. So let's start dealing with reality.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You show me a paid bill that you paid to the defendant is with Worldwide Services. You had no contract with him.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Sean Badian says appliance repairman Andrew Coveridge is responsible for damaging his floors.
Now, how long have you had this company that you pay for annually?
On and off, around 18 years.
Okay. Are you a businessman, sir?
Yes.
What kind of business are you in?
IT, computers.
Is it your own business?
Yes, and my wife's.
Do you have business insurance?
Yes.
Because you need insurance. So I'd assume, Mr. Badian, when you, some 18 years ago, started to do business with this company that you employ, let's call them Worldwide Safety. I don't want to name them. you determined that Worldwide Safety was a reputable business and that they carry insurance.
Yes.
I did that. When I employed my company, I made sure that they had sufficient insurance in case they did any damage to any of my property, right?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to assume, for the purposes of this case, that the floors in your home were damaged because your refrigerator leaked.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you also have homeowners insurance?
Right.
There was a leak in your refrigerator.
No.
Because you do know that that's what homeowners insurance is for.
Yes.
So let us assume that the leaky refrigerator, which was 10 years old?
Yes, approximately.
10.
Approximately.
The leaky refrigerator caused the floors to become buckled and have to be replaced. Let us assume for the moment that that's true. Why in the world would you think that it's the defendant's responsibility? That's number one. And number two, I assume the first people that you called were the company that you employed, right?
Yes.
Yeah, of course. You called them and said, my floor's buckled because of the leaky refrigerator, and I want you to pay $3,700 to fix them. And what did the company say to you?
They said they're not liable.
That's absolutely right. That's what they said to you. What are you suing him for? You don't have any contract with him. You have a contract with the people who you pay. He's their agent. It would be like he was an employee of theirs, although I assume you have your own little company that they just reach out to you. You don't sue him. You sue the company. You're going to lose. But if you want to sue somebody, what are you suing him for? Ken?
I'm suing the company because it was negligence of the technician.
No. You sue the company, not the technician. You have no contract with the defendant.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okie dokie. You show me a paid bill that you paid to the defendant.
No, I don't have one.
Of course not, because your contract is with the owner of Worldwide Services, not him. You never paid him. You had no contract with him. He's the agent of the company. It was your negligence for not having homeowners insurance, which actually would have covered the damage to the floor. But you're suing the wrong person, Mr. Badian. Do you understand? I think you're a smart businessman. You're an IT guy. You understand exactly what I'm saying. You did your best. It was a shot in the dark. It didn't work.
I thought they were responsible because the technician came out 4 or 5 times. They couldn't stop the leak, and they didn't direct us to buy it.
Then you get hold of the company that you pay, and you say, this was not a good technician. I want you to send somebody else.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Once they come out from this company, isn't that a contract that I signed with this company?
No, you never hired them and you never paid them. The first time they came out, the second time they came out, if they came out 5 times, you never paid them because you were covered by the company that you contract with. Goodbye. We're done here. Your case is dismissed.
Thank you very much. Concluded. Parties are excused.
And on the next Judge Judy.
After the reception.
A fraudulent wedding.
Deception?
He refused to sign the marriage certificate.
Why didn't you sign it?
Next.